Welcome back to Strange Form. Today we will be looking at part 1 of my top 20 strangest Big Chap figures ever released, 20 through 11. Number 20. The Alien Windup figure. In the 1970s and 80s, little plastic wind-up figures were all the rage, from E.T. to Frankenstein and all the way to little Godzillas that shot sparks out of their mouths as they walked along. Wind-up figures were a popular find in souvenir shops and variety stores globally. But was there ever a xenomorph wind-up toy? Well, in fact there were 3. More recently, there was the Bilkin Toys tin figure, which was copywritten to the second film, and then there were 2 variations of this little guy, both unlicensed, one with an open mouth and the other with a closed mouth. Both versions were produced in the 1980s, but beyond that, there's very little known about these, because they were unlicensed and recast and produced by several different companies. Now, what makes this a Big Chap, you might ask? I mean, he has the ridged head of the second film. In order to qualify as a Big Chap figure, I have a rule that it meets one or both of these criteria. It's licensed to the original 1979 film, or it has physical characteristics that imply it was intended to be the creature from the first film. One of these biggest telltale signs is a 6th finger, especially if the figure was produced before Alien 3. Which brings us to this little fellow. Number 19. This small chap is an officially licensed keychain and was released in Japan in early 1992. This tiny little chap is exceedingly rare, almost to the point of complete obscurity. Now on to number 18. We find something a little less obscure, but worth talking about nonetheless, and that's 52 Toys' Alien Box, part of the popular Beast Box series, once again where rock lords did before them, proving that people like to transform things into inanimate objects. 1 part super deformed posable figure, and 1 part Rubik's Cube. The Alien Box is actually an intricate love letter to the creature design, sporting a ton of articulation and satisfyingly complex transformation process. This little figure allows for you to fold a chestburster, facehugger, and egg all into one neatly storable little cube. So this figure makes the list for being the closest we are probably ever going to get to a xenomorph transformer. Number 17. With so many super deformed chibi-style figures on the market, it's difficult to say any of them are strange when they outnumber regular alien figures 2 to 1. But there is one that stands out as strangest among these, the Baby Alien, by Alex Solis. Standing at nearly 7 inches tall, this vinyl figure was produced by the company Mighty Jax, and is a 3-dimensional representation of one of Alex Solis's Baby Terrors illustrations, a series of fun cartoon-style illustrations of famous movie monsters reimagined as babies. This vinyl figure features a see-through dome, drool effects, and a birth certificate to show authenticity. Truly, you aren't a real Alien fan if you don't have the Alien Baby. Number 16. Keeping with the theme of comic illustrators reimagining the Star Beast, we have a Loot Crate production of Joe Spiato's Alien Next Door, based on a fun little illustrated children's book called The Alien Next Door, In Space No One Can Hear You Clean. This strange little desktop statue allows for you to imagine a disillusioned middle-aged Big Chap apathetically walking a pet facehugger through your neighborhood while doom-scrolling on his phone. Number 15. USB Alien by Cube Company. Like it says on the box, world first USB gadget of Alien. This odd little toy is not in fact a USB flash drive, but simply just a motorized action figure powered by the USB port on your computer or phone charger, or really anywhere you have a USB Type-A port. Though somewhat rare, this odd little fellow was not entirely popular due to its limited functionality, and the fact that it was going to be taking up precious USB ports on your computer. When plugged in, the inner mouth jets out at different lengths and intervals randomly, with a glowing red LED light inside the mouth. I will say one thing about this little guy. The coloration of the inner mouth is correct, something Mezco couldn't be bothered with in regard to their 1/12 figure. Number 14. Like before with the super deformed figures, there are almost too many Lego-style figures to make them an oddity. Lest 1. The Bear Chap. Manufactured by Medicom Toys, the Bear Brick figure line is very similar to Funko Pop figures in that they use a simple template with tons of different paint applications and skins. Measuring from 1.5 inches to over 2.5 feet tall, the Alien Bear Chap had several different releases and has maintained its collectability even as the market has cooled on the Bear Brick product overall. Number 13. Franklin Mint Alien. A profile in terror. Yes, that's right. The same Franklin Mint your grandparents collect also commemorated Giger's monster in 100% solid pewter, measuring just over 5 inches tall and sporting some serious wallet-breaking international shipping heft. This iridescent beauty is one that will definitely impress all the collectors down at the old folks' home. Is it the most film-accurate or intricately detailed figure? Not really, but it is the only officially licensed solid pewter Big Chap. Number 12. The Hallmark Keepsake. From Egg to Alien Christmas Tree Ornament. Nothing says Christmas like the birth of a new xenomorph. And to show your festive appreciation for this perfect organism, you would have to be gluing Christmas hooks onto your toys. But Hallmark understood your dilemma and has you covered. This is the keepsake ornament that every child wishes their grandparents would send them. Number 11. The last entry in part 1 of my top 20 strangest Alien Big Chap figures is none other than Hot Toys' Hot Angel Alien Girl, or the Big Chick. Though this figure is part of the Aliens vs. Predator 2-part Hot Angel figure series, the Alien Girl is definitely trying to call forth the 79 monster, more than any of the other iterations of the creature. From the domed head with visible skull, to the alien gun that's made to look like the contraption the space jockey was hooked up to. The only thing reminiscent of the other films is the Alien Queen base. The Alien Girl's counterpart, She-Predator Machiko, is technically a less nonsensical figure, as she actually had a running appearance in Dark Horse Comics' AVP series. But if you have them both, there is only one appropriate way to display them. That's right. Pool party. In the end, this figure is a patently ridiculous attempt at fan service, which lands her squarely in the middle of my list. And this figure represents a time in Hot Toys history where they were just starting to be taken seriously and were throwing quite a bit at the board to see what sticks. The company has long since matured and their figures are far more polished, but a girl wearing cleavage-pushing xenomorph lingerie definitely deserves a place on this list. But as weird as she is, as Bon Jovi said, we're only halfway there, and as we inch ever closer to number 1, I ask, are any of these in your collection? What's the strangest collectible you own in any genre? And lastly, as the entire second episode has already been completed, can you guess the top 3? If you're first to guess 1, 2, or 3, your name will appear in the episode. Now I hope you enjoyed this episode of Strange Form and will join me again next week for part 2 of the top 20 strangest Big Chap figures. And if you enjoyed this content, you can do something for me. Share, hit the like button, spend some time in the comments section, and of course, become complicit in our dealings here by subscribing. And remember, never stop collecting.